The first thing I actually want to say is this is probably the most important sort of speech that I'll give, and when I come to talk to our new trainees, I see this as the most important bit of my work, and that is the Premier in particular has made a commitment to our Jobs for Youth program. And I think you're the last cohort of people to actually come through. We've had nearly 200. I think it's about, what, 180? 188, nearly there, which has been absolutely phenomenal. So, and for me, and Jane, I have to acknowledge Jane Francis, who's actually been leading the program. The Premier made a commitment to the Jobs for Youth program. I can actually tell you personally that you can go places. I'm now Commissioner for Public Sector Employment, and I started as a trainee. I'm not going to tell you what year that was, just because I won't. And it's so important for the public sector as the largest employer in South Australia to actually have a pathway for young people who may not actually have an idea, may not want to go to university. I kind of get that, because that's certainly what happened to me, but I did end up going to university when I was working in the public sector because I had a great mentor. So welcome to the public sector. If it's your early days or you've been here for a few months, we welcome you. You become part of the future of the public sector. So my desire, I guess, is that you become sort of our future leaders in the public sector, but I'm not kidding myself. You will all do things like travel and do other things. So I'm hoping that what we do is actually equip you with the skills to go for the jobs that you want to go for. If it's with us in the public sector, I think that's terrific. If it's not, then you'll always be what I call our alumni, and sooner or later you'll come back to us, because I certainly know, and I did that myself, I meandered in and out of government, but I always had something close to my heart about the public sector because they actually helped me understand what it is that I could do, and actually pursued my career in human resources and industrial relations. So if you don't know quite what your career is, I hope you work that out over the next little while and get your certificate or whatever it is that you're aiming for. So that bit, I'd like to, that's my welcome to you. So I hope that you're here in a, longer term or whatever. And never forget to stop me in the street and say hello. There have been a few trainees that have seen me and I've been in meetings and they'd come up and actually say, I'm one of the trainees, just wanted to personally say hello. So please do that, because I will have an interest, I guess, in how things are going for you. The journey will be interesting. You're not going to have a good time the whole time. I know that that's what you'd like to have, but you're not. Workplaces are interesting places, and the first thing that I'll start with is that workplaces should start with a set of values. Now, when I talk about values, it's actually what we bring every day to the workplace. How would you like to be treated? Do you get supported? Is there a level of professionalism? And for me in particular, and the message I'd like to give this group, is that service should be at the heart of everything that we actually do in the public sector. So no matter who you're serving, if you're working in a frontline job, so if you're serving someone on the counter, that's usually the citizens of South Australia or the community that are looking for something from us. Or if you're in a payroll area or in human resources, you're serving other employees with a service. So what we're doing is actually going about and implementing and embedding a set of public sector values. Now, I know Mark's going to talk about the Code of Ethics, and as the Commissioner for Public Sector Employment, it's my responsibility to make sure that we uphold that Code of Ethics. You should familiarise yourself with the code and know what you're expected to do and how you're expected to behave, but more importantly, what you should expect of your leaders and managers as well. So what sort of rights do you have as an employee? The values go a step further, and we do have a website called Change at South Australia. You can go on there and actually see the values, but I just wanted to mention a few of those values. I mentioned service at the heart of everything that we do, but on the document and on the values, we also talk about the sorts of behaviours. So if you see good service, what will that look like? That the customer gets what they want, that they leave perhaps satisfied that they've got an answer, but it isn't necessarily that they've got the answer they're looking for. Because don't forget, in government we do things like regulate, we tell people that they can't do things, but it's actually how we do that. So it's not about saying yes to everything, it's actually the sorts of skills you'll need to actually manage people's expectations, both within the organisation and outside. So service I've already mentioned. Professionalism and trust. So what we do want to do in the public sector is actually uphold a professional approach to work, how you undertake the work that you do, and make sure you're learning. So make sure that you're getting the sort of guidance and support that you need to induct you properly, to actually raise that professionalism. So that's one of them. Trust, honesty, integrity, courage, tenacity, they're all the values that we're espousing. I'd like you to kind of get yourself thinking about what that actually means, because as I started, you are the future. And one of the things that we need to do in the public sector, and you'll probably see that in your own areas, is we do need to change. We need to change the way we do things. We need to change the way we deliver our services. And I think you guys would have some great ideas about how we might get a bit more savvy around actually doing things differently. I bet you're filling out a lot of forms. And if you see something that you think should actually go because it's red tape and it's a waste of time doing it, you better check with your supervisor first. But don't be afraid to offer some suggestions about how things could be done differently. Because part of what you bring is, I guess, an insight, not working in the public sector, to kind of going, and I sort of, you're a different generation, so you're going, well, why don't we have an app for that? Or why don't we actually do this? And don't be afraid at the right time, in the best way, to actually say, I think I've got some ideas about how we might do this differently. I'm also running the reform program for the public sector called Change at South Australia. Just Google it and you'll see we're running a whole lot of 90-day projects and we're doing things differently in the public sector. If you want to contribute or you've got some ideas, you'll know how to get in touch with me or people in my team, or there are people within your own departments actually participating in that. So my message to you is enjoy it, get as much as you actually can and learn as much as you can. You are our future if you wish to stay here, and basically you are part of the journey of actually reshaping and making the public sector, I think, a different and better place. So I actually wish you very well in your careers. And I don't know how long I'll be here, but I sort of love to see, I occasionally see trainees who go, I came in 10, 15 years ago and I'm now doing this. So it will be absolutely exciting to see you guys on a career pathway in relation to the one that you're looking for, that we've actually contributed to get you there. So I wish you well. Make sure you look out and find people to help you, but most importantly, try and become a bit of a connection for each other, because that's actually really important. So I'll leave you with the fact that you are our future, and we would like to engage with you to give us those ideas. And you bring a set of diverse ideas that probably, aren't necessarily there at the moment. So welcome aboard, and I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.